Welcome back to Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami. It's been a tight game throughout, and it remains that way as we pick up the action in the fourth quarter. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Let's go. Set. 30.
Out of the gun, Tannehill. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
On second down, here's Tannehill. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
They go with the screen to Gore. The 20. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
A well-executed screen pass means the offensive line has bluffed the defenders. They make them think that they can just get through and get to the quarterback. Instead, they're setting them up. Little screen pass, lopped it over them, and now they're in front, and they get downfield for big yardage when they do it right.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Second and 10, Tannehill once more. And that's going to be incomplete. Quandre Diggs there defensively. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers to get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a fourth down.
Sometimes it pays to be lucky rather than good. That was not even the intended receiver on that pass.
But still able to haul it in for the reception. Sanders' kick is good. And the Dolphins have tied things up here in the fourth. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
So out now come the Lions. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? But the biggest thing is making sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Here we go now.
Here's Riddick. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. The tackle that time by William Hayes. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. And they'll run it here. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Set. 3-19.
They pitch it out to Johnson. Oh, the spin. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
That's a lot of beef thundering downfield off of the toss play, and it takes me back to when I was a kid and watching USC play. Remember the old toss that they ran? Used to call student body right or student body left because everyone was out in front of the ball carrier. In fact, one of their favorite plays, it was called rose stem right or rose stem left, depending on the formation. 28 toss, and 28 toss was their bread and butter. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. On the toss, here's Johnson. Oh, look at that. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
No, check, Patriot!
Try the ground game here with the running back. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Set! Green, 39!
On 2nd down, Johnson. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain. The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Hurry up, here we go! Blue 90! Blue 90! Black 99 Philly, here we go!
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal.
Watch him now, Barney!
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. Inside of a minute to go now. 2 timeouts left. Still in pretty good shape.
I think they're in excellent shape here if they use the timeouts judiciously and use the sideline as an additional timeout.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Set! Green, 39! Green, 39!
They'll give it to him up the middle. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the 4th.
I don't know how many more of these my heart can take, my man. I just don't know. Another big touchdown late in the game. They look like they're in control, but still, there's a chance. Block the extra point, go down and score, kick the extra point themselves. They can pull this one out.
Yeah, but also on the sideline that just took the lead, you got to get your defense ready and the special teams unit for the kickoff coming up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Got to pull everyone together and make sure they're still focused and aren't already celebrating a win.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. So now here come the Dolphins. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door. Maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end the ball game. That's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. That one goes for 24 yards. And he'll stop it with a spike here with 7 seconds left on the clock. And they're not able to complete it. Now just 6 seconds remain. Time for one, maybe 2 more plays. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. One final shot now. I'm not even sure he can get it to the end zone, though, from this distance.
That's going to take as much arm as he has, and you actually have to plan for the contingency. Maybe you're playing a tip, try and get someone down.
And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And that is going to seal this victory as time runs out. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here. Coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for the Lions, they're into the win column for the 3rd time this year as they get the victory here. And they will head home next week to take on this.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Good to see this man running again. Here's Chris Carson. And he powers his way up past the 30. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
With that kind of run on first down, that's a winning type of a run. That just sets things up for them moving forward as they begin the drive.
On 2nd down, Wilson is complete to Lockett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down. This is Carson. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Come on, let's go.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That good for 19 and a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a stop.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 26 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. They're going to look to throw. And that's complete to Luke Wilson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there, 26 yards. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On the ground, it's Reddick. And a solid run down inside the 30. 8 yards on the ground there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 2.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
All right, here we go.
Reddick with a carry. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front, they moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. A stop there on 3rd. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on 1st and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there. And I'd go right at him with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them, because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop them on 3rd down.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
He'll get it up the middle. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, the elusive, slippery guy couldn't get in there, though. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1.
All right, here we go.
It's a quarterback sneak, and he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. It's their quarterback. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Prater for the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. He's still accelerating, and off he goes. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
They take over 1st and 10 up near midfield. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Wilson. And Dixon over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Third and long. It's Wilson. It's caught. Lockett. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And Janikowski bangs it through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the dirt.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
So here come the Lions now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Buying time to... No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line. So he went out of the pocket left, and then things got dicey.
And what often happens is when they get outside, they want to keep their eyes downfield in order to try and complete a pass. But when they try to make a play, they've got to get their footwork involved, and that can really mess them up as well. And in this case, nothing went right, and the ball got knocked free.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Wilson throwing on 4th and long. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down.
Here we go now.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. And a nice gain of 21 yards. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Riddick. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. They'll set up a throw. And to the left side here, Wilson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
If post pattern is often equated as a change-up route, how about when you throw it to your big guy down the center of the field? Covered or not, you have great confidence he's going to come down with the football. And when he does, as we just saw, long gains often result.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
They'll drop the throw. And incomplete. He was looking for Theo Riddick there. And it's third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
It's always a good play when you're able to bat a ball away or down. because if you actually tip it in the air, now the offense is getting a second shot at catching the football, or another receiver may come along and grab it out of the air and turn it into a big play. So if you make a play on the ball, make sure it's knocked away or down. Otherwise, there could be some jeopardy.
So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
Here's Russell Wilson in the Seahawk offense now, getting set to go again. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
A big seam, and he might go all the way. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. But he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
And now running right through it. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And Detroit getting set to go now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now.
And got his man complete. Marvin Jones. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones, 82 yards. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. And that was just a fly route. There was no stop. He just went.
Yeah, and it was beautiful to watch because you have to set it up as you go along. Everyone knows he's fast, so you play him for that. That's the number one thing you want to take away. But as you go through a game, sometimes you vary the speed in which you come off the line of scrimmage and maybe start a little bit slower. Get him to stop his feet a little bit as a defensive back and then explode and go, as we saw there.
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration. It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They run it with Carson. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On third down, that's Carson, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. We talk about setting a tone or beginning a drive. That run was absolutely textbook. I'm telling you, partner, now they're not just thinking about an easy drive. They're thinking about maybe taking it downfield.
Yeah, started at their 2. Now they've got a heavy amount of breathing room. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll look to throw now on first down. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. So we've come upon halftime with a visiting. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Call it an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get them the first.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue
90. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Hey, boys, got 4 down. Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now back to throw. Flushed out right. And he's going to lose a yard or 2. Taken down behind the line. Christian Covington in there to drop him for a loss on the play. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
When the big guy rumbles down the center of the field and he gains leverage on a guy trying to cover him, it is really, really tough for the defender to get through him to make a play on the football. That's why guys love to throw that route. Down the middle, throw it deep, and let the big guy go get it.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll go on the ground. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And down inside the 15 he goes. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Theo Riddick, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are in for 6. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Extra point good by Prater, and that will make this a 4-point game. That's fielded in the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned. Because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long. 3rd and 15 to be exact. Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson, Baldwin with it over the middle. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run.
And coughed it up. But I believe a Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession.
They'll look to throw. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much room to operate as they'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Seahawks have recovered.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his 3rd.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot of guys do in the offseason to work on those, paying dividends for him. He's getting home in a big way.
And this will be incomplete. The tight end, Ed Dixon, was the target. And that'll make it 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And he's got Lockett. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So a challenge is upon us. I tell you, close game, 4th quarter.
The previous play is under review. After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Damon Harrison with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
Completes it to Dixon. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Wilson. And the tight end, Dixon, left side. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
But that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through. And that's a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And probably the wise decision there. No one open, he just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Pete Carroll, no stranger to rolling the dice. He'll roll it again. 4th down, they're going for it. They run for it with Carson. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. So give him the first down. 1st and goal after a pickup of 4, and the decision to go for it pays off.
Deep in the red zone. This was 4-down territory from the start. And here, they won't wind up with a touchdown, but they do get a great consolation prize as they convert and pick up a first down inside the 5.
He's going to get it running right. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line.
To me, that's a terrific run on 1st and goal at the 3. They got 2 yards. I'd line right back up and give it to him again.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's what. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And there's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in the 4th. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Looking to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
They'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
So another big shot dodged there defensively. Now they're just one more incompletion away from salting away this victory. And I know this feeling. They're almost giddy, but they have to stay focused and locked in. They can make one big mistake and throw it all away.
Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. Back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call.
Pass interference. Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
He's back to throw. His throw incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with it.
And that's caught inside the 35. They give him a gain of 37.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
Now, before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. 2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Right there in coverage, the veteran Cam Chancellor. This defense making some plays right now, aren't they?
And they look like a group that really locked in before this series started. Read their scouting reports, got back to reading their keys, and playing with excellent leverage up front.
Now let's go. Green, 30.
He'll look to throw. And that's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Well, we knew this had the potential to be a tight game, but with less than 3 minutes to play, couldn't be any tighter. We're all tied.
All locked up, right? And this next drive is going to tell us everything we need to know about this game because I want to see how they come out with the football. Are they going to be aggressive and attack downfield? You still got the 2-minute warning to come up. Or they're going to be conservative and try and hold on and maybe just get to overtime.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Here's Wilson. Eluding the pressure. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Throwing now is Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Glover Quinn. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
Gone! Now let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, he's had a big loss here as he's taken down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They'll set up to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be
hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And Dixon has it. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Throwing is Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. They'll try to run with Carson. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
Brandon, now we find out what their definition of commitment is. They've run it on the first 2 plays. Do they come back and do it again? They're that much closer to getting into the end zone.
Yeah, inching closer and really knocking on the door now. Another chance to maybe end it right here. This is 3rd and goal. 2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. And they're going with some extra beef up front. They've got to have this one in overtime. It's 3rd and 1. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime.